Welcome to all our third chapter, electromagnetic induction. In previous chapter you are studied about a magnet. Magnet is a substance that attract iron or iron like substances. So in a magnet two poles is there, north pole and south pole. In that, like poles are repels and unlike poles are attracting, that you are studied. In a bar magnet is like that. How bar magnet, there are two poles, north and south pole. So in that, magnetic lines of force, magnetic lines arising around a magnet. So always magnetic lines start from north pole to south pole, always moving north pole to south pole. Now you are studied, north pole to south pole they are moving. Inside the magnet, the magnetic lines are always moving from the direction showing like that arrow mark, north pole to south pole. Here also north pole to south pole, that moving here to here, like that you studied. Inside the magnet, the magnetic lines moving from south pole to north pole. Okay, if here strong magnet is used, means the magnetic lines are very closer each other, but they does not intersecting. They does not intersecting. They always moves from north to south pole in the outside the magnet. Inside the magnet, south pole to north pole moving. So here producing that magnetic lines, no, these lines are called generally magnetic flux. In this chapter continuing magnetic flux, we are calling the number of lines that are called magnetic flux. So previous chapter you are studied when a current passes through a conductor, they are producing a magnetic field lines that produces force. So in that force that a conductor moves, that you are studying. In this chapter you are studying about when a magnet, is it current generating, when a conductor moves in a magnetic field. So for that, the scientist Michael Faraday conducted a experiment. For that experiment, he started his invention in year 1821. He is called the father of electricity. So he invented in physics and chemistry field. So for his experiment, we are needed galvanometer and solenoid and magnet. That three devices we are needed for this experiment. He conducting experiment using magnet and galvanometer and solenoid. Galvanometer is a device that deflection in both direction, left side and right side direction. First in the rest position, that shows the 0. See here, this galvanometer means here galvanometer is in the rest position, shows the 0. If here current passing means that deflecting right side or left side, that deflecting. Why that deflecting right or left? Because they are producing a small amount of current, no? So that deflecting. So there when you inserting the magnet means they are producing magnetic field. So their deflection taken place. The deflection left or right, that depending on the flow of current, which direction current flowing, that direction, depending on that direction, this galvanometer is deflecting. Galvanometer is an instrument used to calculate magnitude and the current, small amount current we are calculating using by this galvanometer. Say in that first Michael Faraday's experiment, we are needed solenoid. Solenoid you are studied in second chapter. Solenoid means a helically shaped wounded wire. No. So like that wire is connected to a galvanometer. When you should move this magnet inside the solenoid, you should moving this magnet inside the solenoid. This north pole inserting inside the solenoid means that deflecting in a right side. North pole inserting means that deflecting right side. Then inserting magnet, again releasing time. You releasing now, that time that deflecting left side. Okay, inserting time that deflection taken place, that right side, because you inserted here north pole. No, depending on the flow of direction of current, that galvanometer is deflection taken place. First that inserting time deflected to right side, then removing or releasing time that deflected to left side. Then you should keep this magnet inside stationarily. You should keep inside that. It does not move that magnet. Keep inside it stationarily, so that does not deflecting. That shows the standing direct zero mark. This does not deflecting. Why that does not deflecting? Because there does not producing magnetic field, does not producing current, so that does not deflecting. So again you should repeat this experiment by increasing the number of turns of the solenoid. Increasing the number of turns of the solenoid, and we should insert here strong magnet. Increasing the number of turns of the solenoid, and you should use strong magnet, and you should move solenoid or magnet in greater speed. You should move this magnet in a greater speed. So what happened that time? If you there solenoid or magnet inserting greater speed, that time what happened? The deflection is a galvanometer needle increases. There deflection increases, and you increasing the number of turns of this solenoid. This number of turns increasing means there also deflection increases. So if you using here strong magnet, if you use the strong magnet means that deflection increases. So you understood from this experiment, when we increase the number of turns of the solenoid, and we should using strong magnet, and the galvanometer deflection increases. Similarly, we should inserting solenoid or a magnet in greater speed, that time also deflection increases. So you understood when a relative motion between magnet or solenoid, relative motion between magnet or solenoid, there will be a flow of electricity. If this both also stationary is there, means there does not deflection taken place, so there does not produces electricity. If there is relative motion between solenoid or magnet, there deflection taken place, they are producing electricity. So we understood when a magnet is near to the solenoid, there produces magnetic field. No? Similarly, if you removing means there does not producing magnetic field. So the instant magnetic flux linked with a solenoid in greater when we moving the magnet near the solenoid. In which instance the magnetic flux linked with the solenoid less? When we move this magnet away from this solenoid. This moves away means there are less. If this magnet moves near to the solenoid, there are magnetic flux linked with the solenoid in that instance is greater. Then you are understanding they're producing current. That current is called induced current, and that produces voltage. No, that voltage is called induced EMF. So we can tell magnetic induction means whenever there is a change in magnetic flux in a coil, whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with a coil, magnetic flux linked with a coil, there will induce an EMF in the coil. There is induced an EMF in the coil, that is called electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction means whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with a coil, there will produce an induced EMF in the coil, that is called electromagnetic induction. So you understood factors affecting the induced EMF, which all? The number of turns of the solenoid, the magnet we using the strong magnet, and the movement of solenoid or conductor in greater speed. That instance what happened, that all three factors affecting to the induced EMF. Then the scientist British John Ambrose discovered that induced EMF. The scientist John Ambrose Fleming discovered that induced EMF is maximum. Induced EMF is maximum when the conductor moves perpendicular to the magnetic field lines. If there are two conductors, here two magnetic field is there, means that moves like that. No, magnetic field lines moves like that. So when you moving conductor moves in a perpendicular, means here what happen, the maximum induced EMF is producing. So he explained the relation between direction of motion of a current and direction of magnetic field and direction of a current. Direction of motion of a conductor, direction of a current, and direction of magnetic field. He explained a rule. That rule is called Fleming's right hand rule. That rule is called Fleming's right hand rule. Imagine a conductor moving perpendicular to the magnetic field lines. A conductor moving perpendicular to the magnetic field lines. Stretch thumb, forefinger and middle finger mutually perpendicular. Thumb, forefinger and middle finger mutually perpendicular. Should stretch mutually perpendicular. The thumb shows the direction of motion of a conductor. This thumb shows the direction of a motion of a conductor, and this forefinger shows the direction of a magnetic field, and this middle finger shows the direction of current. This rule is called Fleming's right hand rule. Fleming's right hand rule states that imagine a conductor moves perpendicular to the magnetic field lines. Stretch forefinger, middle finger and thumb mutually perpendicular. The thumb represents the direction of motion of a conductor. Forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field and the middle finger represents the direction of current. That we understood Fleming's right hand rule. Next, we are discussing about alternate current and direct current. See there, here one circuit, the resistance is connected to a battery, here switch, this one galvanometer. Okay, when current passed here, this galvanometer is started to deflection. No? That deflection only one direction, that does not deflect in both the direction, that only deflection in only one direction or it is in unidirection. So here it does not changing in this case when we are connecting battery. So here that deflecting in a galvanometer, deflecting in a unidirection. But in here when inserting time, deflecting to right side, then releasing time, deflecting to left side now, that you are studying. So in this case, that does not reflect in both direction, that is in unidirection. So like that current is called AC current. AC current means there is does not changes in the direction of current, that is called direct current, DC. That is called DC or direct current. DC or direct current. Direct current. There is does not changes in the direction of current. But next here deflecting in both, no, so that is called alternating current. There is change in the direction of regular interval of time, there is changes. So that is called AC or alternate current. AC or alternate current. AC or alternate current. So some devices, generator example, converting mechanical energy to electrical energy. So we are today discussing about a AC generator. See here, I diagram drawn here the AC generator. AC generator, there is NS, north and south pole, that is magnetic field. That magnetic field produces magnetic flux to this no. So then this is ABCD is an armature. Armature rotating in its axis. Here one axis have that rotating in a clockwise direction. Rotating in a clockwise direction. Then R1 and R2 are the slip rings. R1 and R2 are called slip rings. Then slip rings are made up of metals that are welded with the armature. That both slip rings are welded with the armature. Then this armature is an wounded wire. This is armature. Then it is wounded with this slip rings. Then here connected B1 and B2 brushes. B1 and B2 brushes that are here connected, that gives external current, external circuit current that gives. So this is the arrangement of an AC generator. So how that working? See that video.
How an AC generator produces electricity. An AC generator is a device used to convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. It was originally designed by a famous physicist, Nikola Tesla. Working of an AC generator is based on the principle. Now see the construction of an AC generator. An AC generator consists of field magnets, an armature, 2 slip rings, and 2 carbon brushes. The poles of field magnets are concave and cylindrical in shape and therefore produce a radial magnetic field. Armature is a soft iron core on which a coil having a large number of turns of copper wire is wrapped. The 2 ends of armature are attached with 2 slip rings. These rings rotate with the coil. The slip rings are made of metals and are insulated from each other. 2 brushes are made of carbon. One end of each brush is in contact with rotating slip rings and other end is connected to an outer circuit. A galvanometer is connected in the outer circuit to show the deflection due to the current induced in the armature. When coil is rotated between the pole pieces, a current is induced in the coil. The induced current is shown by the deflection in the galvanometer. The two-way deflection in the galvanometer shows that the induced current is alternating. Now let's see the working of an AC generator. The armature keeps on changing its relative position with respect to the magnetic field as it rotates about an axis perpendicular to the field. Therefore, the flux linked with the coil keeps on changing with time. As a result, an EMF is induced. This in turn induces an electric current in the coil as the 2 ends of armature are connected to an external circuit. An electric current starts flowing through it. The current is detected by the galvanometer connected in the external circuit. Due to change in the relative position of the armature coil, the direction of the current flowing in each arm of the armature coil keeps on changing, and hence the current so obtained is alternating current. To understand the generation of alternating current more clearly, let us mark one arm of the armature as green and the other as pink. As per the Fleming's right-hand rule, the direction of current in the arm marked as green is outward, and in the arm marked pink is inward. After rotating half turn in anti-clockwise direction, the direction of current in green arm becomes inward and that in the pink arm becomes outward. Thus, after every half turn, the direction of current changes and as a result, alternating current is generated. If we plot a graph between the induced EMF and time, we will observe that the induced EMF shows sinusoidal behavior. It can be seen from the graph that the direction of the current keeps on changing with time, which again.
So, I think you are understood the working of a generator. So, their armature starting to rotation. Armature started to rotating. That rotating in a clockwise direction. That rotates in clockwise direction. So, that changes this position. First, armature is in like that. This A, B, C, D like that. How? That is in the 0. Then it rotates to, comes to B, this AB, no, AB comes down, this comes to here, CD. So, here changing the direction. First 0 degree to changes to 90 degree, then changes to 180. 180 means that completing half rotation. Half rotation that changes the, after half rotation changes the direction. That you have understood from that video. Every half rotation that changes the direction of current. So this 0 to 90, then 180 degree, that completing half rotation, then again rotating 270 degree, then complete 360 degree. When this comes to 90 degree, the maximum current will be produces. So there one drawing graph, we can simply draw graph. See, when it is 0, when that reaches to 90, then 180, 270, 360. So when that comes 0 to 90, that increases here, that increases the maximum current produces in the 90 degree. So after that half rotation is in the backward, at the 270 degree, that highest current produces in the opposite direction. So frequency means this armature rotates how many times rotating 1 second, that is called frequency. Frequency means armature rotates in 1 second, that is called frequency. So how many times that rotating for 1 second, that is called frequency. So here time for a first t, for a half rotation t by 2, half rotation that time is t by 2. For one full rotation is t. T means period. Period is time taken to armature rotate to full complete one rotation taking time is calling period or time. That is calling t. Then that taken to half rotation time, that is t by 2. That is period, we are calling period. Period means when a armature completes one rotate, time taken to armature completes one rotation. So I told that how many frequency means how many times that rotating in 1 second, that is called frequency. In our India, the distribution of 50 hertz distribution is there. Frequency of AC generated distributed in our country is 50 hertz. 50 hertz means frequency is 50 hertz. 50 hertz means that rotating for 1 second 50 times. For one rotation, that rotating 50 times. So I told for one rotation that takes changes the direction of current 2 times now. For one half rotation changing, another one half rotation, that changing the direction of current. For one rotation, armature takes place 2 times changes the direction of current. So here that for 1 second that rotate 50 hertz means how many times that changes the direction of current. So 50 into 2 now. For one rotation 2, so 50 times rotating, 50 into 2. So how many times that changes the direction of current? 100 times that changing the direction of current. So that armature rotating time there produces electricity, like that our AC generator working. So we are studied in today's class about AC generator, then what is electromagnetic induction, then you are studied Fleming's right hand rule. Then we will continue next class. Thank you.